Welcome back to Downloadable Content. We are SJ.
And Alex Herschel, and we are joined today by our special guest, Jordan. Today, we are ranking video game controllers. Let's get right into it.
Herschel. 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 Jordan, welcome back.
Thank you.
This is your third time? Second time?
This first time was split into multiple episodes. We did 2 episodes, but it was on the same day. So this is our second recording session.
That's
here
right.
with Jordan.
That's right.
Yeah, it was the Super Smash Bros. Episode, and then we talked about Xenoblade.
Yep.
So Alex, I don't think I've told you this yet, but I recently figured out the true, the identity of Big Bear.
No, you did not.
I did.
Who?
I figured it out. Jordan, you want to tell us?
Yeah, it's me.
No! No! The legend itself has been revealed.
I know, so here's how I found out. Well, I figured it out. I don't know why I didn't connect the dots, but for the longest time, I've known that Jordan's favorite animal is the bear. He loves bears. And I got back from Yellowstone, and I was showing him some like bear pictures, and I was like, "You're a big bear, aren't you?"
There you go.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Now we know.
Yep. He's the guy.
Great episode.
Yeah.
My favorite. Sick.
Well, Jordan, what have you been up to? Any updates? in your gaming and personal, intimate life?
Work. And playing Rivals of Aether with you.
Yep.
It's
we
a
do
great
that
game.
quite often.
And I'm building my first PC, which I've wanted to do for like the past 10 years. So that's really exciting for me.
Yeah. That is amazing. And you guys can't see it because it's not in frame, but all of his PC parts, almost all of them are right there. There's like a stack of boxes of spanking new PC parts. There you go. Yeah, you can show off some of it.
CPU.
Yeah,
It's nuts.
beautiful stuff. Alex, what about you?
Well, first off, for those of you who are watching our video, you can see
notice.
on my shirt.
That's
I
an
got
awesome
this
shirt.
recently, my birthday, but it's a beach shirt, and it's got Toon Link and the King of Red Lions all over it, so had to come and represent the new merch. Yeah, I like it.
Who got you that?
That was my dad. My dad apparently saw an ad for something that was similar. So either it was a different game or even a different Zelda game. And I was like, I wonder if I can find something specifically for the Wind Waker.
Yeah.
Went and found this, and now it's mine.
Oh my
I have it.
gosh.
Nice.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and 4 weeks out from getting married. I don't know if I mentioned it on the podcast, but I have been asked to get a game for me and my fiance to play while on our honeymoon. And at the time of recording, tomorrow is Amazon Prime Day, and Nintendo's putting out some pretty good deals. And so, I've already mentioned this to you. I'm going to be buying the Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury combo.
Mm-hmm.
But because it's on such a good deal, I had this money saved to buy it, but it's 50% off. So I'm like, I have money.
That much off?
Yeah, they're charging $30 for it.
Wow.
That's a good deal.
And so I was looking, and I was well, I could get another
We got
game.
a little surplus there.
And so I was looking through, the list of things that they have available, and I've decided that I'm going to go ahead and buy Kirby and the Forgotten World.
Ooh.
I'm going to pull the trigger, and I'm going to do it.
Wow, okay.
So, yeah, tomorrow I'll be buying 2 games, and by the end of the year should have at least a little bit of time in both of them.
Wow.
Hope to be done.
That's awesome.
I finished Tears of the Kingdom a little bit ago, so my gaming space is open right now. Well,
But have you finished Xenoblade?
what's going on with you, Ash? No, I'm halfway through. I am in chapter 5, a couple hours into it. But like I've said, that is a game that I can play for a little bit, and then I need a break. And I am still in the needing a break part of things.
It's a
So
lifelong journey.
It's so long. There's
Jordan,
so
where are
much.
you in that, by the way?
I'm kind of in the same place, actually.
Okay.
Did you get to that sad part with Senna?
I mean, there is some sad stuff going on, but I don't know if there's been like a super big moment with it yet.
Would you know what you're talking about if you'd gotten there?
I don't know. It's a flashback.
Okay.
I've seen
And
a
it's-
few flashbacks.
It's
I know
centered
that
around Senna.
I know that, trying to be cryptic so we don't spoil anything for anybody that maybe wants to play. You know that goal that we've been trying to reach so far in the game of us getting to a certain location?
Yes.
So I'm there, and I've been there, and I'm pretty sure I'm about to leave to continue on with the story. So that's where I am. if
Okay.
that.
We're like in the same spot
Okay,
then.
there we go.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, but yeah, still on my break.
That's all right.
I got 6 months, right? I got 6 months to finish it, so...
And honestly, I'm pretty sure I've said this before, but like, video games are there to bring you enjoyment. And if taking a break is going to result in more enjoyment, I think that's what you should do. If dropping a game entirely is going to lead to more enjoyment, then drop it. Not saying you should drop Xenoblade, but...
Too much time in at this point to not finish, man.
Yeah, no, we're...
And I do like it when I'm in the
Yeah.
mood to play it. So.
Yeah, right.
But-
Okay, cool.
Anything new with you? Any new purchases?
No, but I will be purchasing Near Automata. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I've heard people say automata or automata, whatever.
Automata, bro.
Automata. I'm sorry. I've heard from several different people that it's a fantastic game. The gameplay looks really crisp and good. The PC port is supposedly like really good, and it's on sale right now for $20. So I don't really want to pass it up. So I will be buying that within the next week or two. But it will go to my backlog because I need to finish Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah. So today, all of our gaming is done, well, except for those of us on PC, through game controllers. Yeah, except for those of us on PC because, well, you know, keyboard and mouse. Well, and maybe we can see where keyboard and mouse would land. But basically, we are making a tier list, as you can see for those of you on video, of pretty much every major console's controller. And I wanted to say, before we start placing things, that I think we should define what each tier really means.
Okay.
So you've got S, A, B, C, D as usual. I'm thinking S tier is best, right? Like you're considering it like one of your absolute favorite controllers of all time.
Yeah, and I would say that it's a controller that works for like every single game that's played on that system. Like the controller fits well for
Yes.
it.
Yeah, right. It's
Yeah.
not like a niche specific controller for one game or whatever. A tier I think would just be, it's good. It's not a bad controller.
Yeah.
Right? B is probably like
Yeah. literally,
forgettable.
eh.
Right? It's not garbage, but I think once you're getting to C and D, that's, you get the idea.
I'd say D is like practically unusable.
Yeah, like actively disliked.
Yeah.
D stands for disliked and detrimental to your gaming experience.
There we go.
Okay, so I'm thinking we go
As
chronologically.
chronological as we can.
Now, I'm pretty sure the NES is the first here.
Yeah, I would think so.
We got our NES boy. How do we feel about that?
At this point, listeners, you should know that when we say tier list, that we recommend the video watching through either YouTube or on Spotify. But here's one more reminder before we get into it.
Yeah, video will be best. This one is
Video will help.
more audio friendly compared to like our
so.
Eat or Eat with the Pokemon. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Jordan, what do you think? NES.
NES.
Yeah. And by the way, this is like our combined tier list, so we
That's
will
right.
need to compromise where necessary.
It's NES is pretty simple. You got your D-pad, start, select, A, B. The thing I don't like about it is the rectangular shape.
Uh-huh.
Long hours with an NES controller, those corners can kind of dig into your palms.
I can't disagree with that. I really like how the buttons feel.
Mm-hmm.
Like the tactile feel of that. I think they just completely nailed it. My main issue is what you just said, but for me even more so, the A and B button placement, because it's completely horizontal. There's a lot of games where you need to like hold down one button and press the other at the same time, like Mario.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of uncomfortable to do that. You almost have to kind of shift your hand position sideways to comfortably do that. So that's an issue for me. Alex?
Yeah, I would put it in like C tier because I don't think it's horrible. I definitely think there are worse controllers, but it's also not anything where I'm like, oh, I really want to play a game on an NES controller right now. So that's where I would put it.
I was
personally.
thinking B, but I'd be okay with C.
I was also thinking C.
C, okay, let's
we
go
go.
C. Now these like, I don't know these Sega consoles, so you're gonna have to help me out.
I think the one that you're on right now is the Genesis controller.
What about this thing? Dreamcast?
No.
The Dreamcast is that one with like the mini screen.
To the
down
left
one.
Oh,
of the
you're right, you're right,
N64.
you're right.
This one.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
What comes next?
Let's just do those three. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah,
Let's
we
just get
just
them
don't
out of
know
the way.
these. This one looks like the older controller, or maybe it's this one.
I mean, I'll be honest. The only one that I've used that I can remember using is the Dreamcast one, so I don't have
so
anything to say about those.
Jordan, do you know anything about these two controllers here?
I have a Sega Genesis with the big black controller.
That's
Like-
this one on the
like
left,
the glossier
right?
one?
Yeah, the one on the
Yeah.
left, the glossy one.
Okay.
I'm not super familiar with the one in the middle there.
Okay. What do you think about the Genesis controller? Have you ever used it?
Yeah, don't like it.
Is it worse than NES?
Probably there in C tier.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm good to roll with that.
Not necessarily worse.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Okay. This thing, so none of us have ever...
Is there a way for you to add a tier of like
Never used.
just
we
never
don't know.
used?
Yes, I can. I
'Cause
think I can
We
do it.
don't. We don't got nothing to say.
Add a
Add
row
row.
below.
Add a row
Oh,
below.
below.
Probably. There you go.
Oops. Forgive me.
I'll just rename that D.
What just happened? Well, now the color's messed up. That was blue, right?
It was green.
Okay. Okay, I can do this.
And
Make that one brown.
Like poop.
yeah.
Is that brown?
No,
Go with
there's
gray.
no brown.
Do a
Do
gray.
gray.
There you go. Yeah. throw that
For-
other one in there.
For the people that have played these, like, there's one individual in particular that's gonna know these that I know of. Feel free to roast us.
Go for it.
All right, Dreamcast. I've never touched that. I've never touched any of these Sega consoles in my life.
I like the Dreamcast.
I do too.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I think it's a decent controller.
So, can you explain to me what the function of the little screen is? Is that an actual like little screen, like a DS screen kind of thing?
Kind of. I can't remember if it's like a memory card, but I know that some games utilized it, like gosh, I can't think of the game, but there was like a little pet that showed up on it, kind of like a Tamagotchi. And I don't remember what game that was. It's been a really long time since I've played the Dreamcast, but I do remember the controller feeling really nice, especially the triggers.
It looks comfortable.
And I know of games that use it as like a mini inventory screen too, so that you can see it on your controller.
That's actually really nice.
So like functionally, it's a pretty decent controller.
It's really ugly, but I could see how it.
Yeah, it doesn't
would be
look
a good
good,
controller,
but
and
it feels good.
It does feel good.
Well.
It's very comfortable.
It works well too. So
okay, so this is the Wii U gamepad before Wii U.
Yeah.
What are we thinking? Based on what I heard, B tier?
B
or A?
Maybe A.
A?
I was feeling B tier personally. But if we want to put it in an A, it's just like a low A, like a 90%.
Sure, we can adjust it later if we need to.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
Throw it in there.
Okay.
SNES.
SNES.
Ooh.
SNES.
Okay, so I'm gonna be real. It fixes a lot of the issues that I have with the NES itself.
Yeah.
Still not great, right? You're still kind of limited because you still don't have that many buttons. But like a noticeable improvement over what you had before.
I think the SNES is like S tier. Hear me out. This is like on a 2D console, right? Sticks weren't a thing. You didn't really need two bumpers, because these controllers are created to play the games that are on that console. And I think it served that purpose flawlessly. I mean, the buttons feel great. I love that part of them are convex and the other two are concave. It makes it really easy to identify them. It's simple. The shoulder buttons feel great. It's a lot more comfortable than the SNES. I think the SNES controller is I don't think it gets much better than that for 2D gaming.
My biggest problem is I don't like squishy D-pads. I like them to be kind of clicky.
Like the Xbox ones?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just
so
on the opposite side, yeah.
I struggled with the SNES controller just because of the D-pad, but it is definitely up there in A tier for me. It definitely solved all the NES's controller problems.
I'd be fine with A.
Yeah, that's where I was thinking too.
Okay,
But
we'll put it in
above
front
the
of
Dreamcast.
the Dreamcast. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's where. Yeah.
Okay. Are we on PlayStation?
PlayStation 1 and N64.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's start with the PlayStation. Get some Sony
Okay.
representation here.
It'd be that gray one to the left of the Wii U.
Oops. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I think that one that you just had is the PS3.
There we go.
See, the PlayStation controllers are kind of hard to identify off of pictures because they're very, very similar. But
Yes.
yeah, I think that's definitely
That's the PS1.
as it is.
Any thoughts?
So, I don't know. Maybe I'm just biased, but this is basically the SNES controller, but more ergonomic, right? But I like the SNES controller better. I think part of it is how the buttons feel. I just prefer the SNES controller, but
Yeah, I like the SNES controller more than the PS1.
I would put the PS1 in no higher than B.
Yeah, I could do B.
I don't have a lot of experience with a PS1 controller, so I'm going to defer to you guys.
Okay, we'll put it in B.
I still play my PS1 to this day.
Really?
That's
Yes.
sick.
It is in my ottoman at home. I don't have a TV that can use it right now,
Right.
but when I do have a TV that can use it, I do pull out Jet Moto.
Jet Moto.
Yeah.
Never even heard of that.
Never
Is that a
heard
jet
of it.
ski thing?
It's like they're like hover bikes. It's a racing game, but they're these like poles that you can do like a gravity laser to do sharp turns.
Okay.
It's really cool, and it's really fast, and it's really difficult, and it's one of my favorite racing games.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, there's definitely a lot of gems on PS1. And 64.
So there are going to be people that roast us for how we place this, and then there are gonna be people that praise us.
There's no winning, no matter what
This
we do.
this controller is easily the most divisive on this entire list.
Yeah.
And I think that it is so average. I think for some games it works great, and for other games it is a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it honestly, I would be completely fine with this controller if it weren't for that terrible, terrible joystick.
Yeah, I hate the joystick.
I did not realize how bad that joystick was growing up, because that's all I knew, right? And then I went back to use it like a few years ago. I don't remember what the occasion was. And holy crap, it is like wobbly as heck. It's so unprecise, and it like tears up the skin on your thumb.
I feel like any game that was made by Nintendo for the N64, the controller like works well, but any game made by any other company like just doesn't control very well. So I think it works against itself by, at least in my experiences of games that I've played on the N64.
Now, I have StarCraft 1 on my N64. I think it's a pretty rare game,
Oh, yeah.
but it was so hard to play on the N64 because of that joystick.
Yeah.
Being precise with your inputs and like selecting your units and stuff, it was so hard.
You guys know in Ocarina of Time, in the Fire Temple, you know that one part that you have to like spiral up this narrowing kind of steps to get to the hammer? Do you know what I'm talking about? And if you go to the left or the right, you fall and you want to try to restart. That part was really hard with that controller. I do remember that from my childhood.
Yeah. I say it's a D tier controller, honestly. I think it provides more problems than good ones. But what do you two think?
I'd put it at the bottom of C tier, maybe. Or D, I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, C tier. Okay, now we're gonna have the GameCube, original Xbox, and PlayStation 2. Yep.
Okay, let's start with Xbox.
Okay.
Original Xbox controller. Kind of hated it.
I honestly don't know if I've ever played a game on an original Xbox controller, so I'll sit this one out.
It's okay. The black and white buttons, it's so confusing. It's not like a lot of times I had to like look at the controller because like there's 6 face buttons right there, and it was too many.
That's another problem I had with the Sega Genesis controller, is there's 6 buttons right next to each other.
Yeah.
And it's just hard to remember which buttons you need to press. And those black and white buttons were in an awkward position. They were below the A and B button, the A and B buttons.
Yeah.
So you had to go lower, like to the right of the joystick to hit them, and it was just awkward. And plus, the whole thing was really big and blocky.
Actually, this one shows the black and white above the ABXY.
Oh, really?
I thought it was below too. Maybe I'm misremembering.
I think there were 2 models that came out.
Oh, maybe they were.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's awkward. It's like it fits in your hand well, and it's hefty, but the gaming industry was still trying to figure out how many face buttons was the right amount, and I don't think this was it.
D-pad was also terrible.
I don't remember the D-pad, but I'll take your word for it. I honestly think this is D tier.
Yeah.
Boom. There you go.
GameCube.
Ooh.
S. It's easy S tier. There's a reason why this, from this era, is still prevalent to this day.
Is it though? Like, it is for one game. Like, I don't know of many people that outside of Smash Bros. Pull out their GameCube controller very often.
I kind of agree with that. I love it for Smash Bros. But
Rivals.
Well, I love it for platform fighters. But I don't really remember liking it with other games.
Okay, hear me out though.
I definitely think it's A tier.
Yeah.
Easily.
But consider all of the games that were on GameCube, right? Like, we really shouldn't apply this game controller to like every single modern AAA games.
Okay, I played Metroid Prime with the GameCube controller.
Yeah.
And that was tough.
Well, yeah, Nintendo didn't really know what they were doing with first-person shooters back then.
Right.
I mean, you don't have the twin stick controls, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I played Metroid on GameCube too. I thought it was fine for the time. I don't think that's a fault of the controller. I just can't. Yeah, maybe I'm pushing it too hard, but
High A tier?
I'm good with that.
okay, all right.
And of course, we'll do our end of list revisit. Make
Yep.
sure everything's
We
balanced
can
and as it
revise.
should be.
That's all right.
All right, the PlayStation 2. It's definitely better than the PlayStation 1. Come on, you got 2 joysticks now.
Is it better though? Like,
Yes.
you only have the 2 joysticks because you need them.
That automatically makes it better.
How?
Your movement is so much. I just.
Well, but
I
now
like
you're
the
talking about the
PS2
games,
controller.
right?
I think that it is easily better than the PS1, and I would put it in A tier. But I'm open to it being in B as long as it's above the PS1.
Okay, I have a strong opinion about the joystick placement of the PlayStation controllers. And that is that I hate that they're right next to each other because my thumbs bump into each other all the time.
That's actually kind of valid. I have had that happen to me before.
I've got big hands, so
Yeah.
or long thumbs, so they just bump into each other, and I could never get used to it. Anytime I play any of the modern PlayStations, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, PS5, my thumbs, they just bump into each other because of that joystick. And it bothers me so much. So I would automatically put it in like C tier or something like that just because of that. Also, the PS2 joysticks, my thumbs got sweaty and they slipped off the joysticks
I'm so
a lot.
glad you brought that up. I forgot about that. That was a big problem.
Yeah.
That was a big problem. Yeah, I am with Jordan on this one actually.
All right.
So, but if you're thinking like A, should we put it at like B tier? With the PS1?
I'm good with whatever. I don't care. I don't.
Okay, well, we'll adjust.
Put it there. Put it there. All right. We have the Wii and the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3.
All right, what are we thinking?
So
for
both
the
of
Wii?
those PlayStation controllers are PS3 controllers. Just one of them's cordless and the other one's not.
No, this is the PS4.
No, this black one in between the Wii U Pro and the PS3
you're right.
is. They're both PS3 controllers.
Wait a minute. This is the PS2 controller. Yeah, this
All right,
is the
just
PS2.
throw it in with where we put the other PS2.
I'm just going to leave it out so it doesn't.
All right, that's fine as well.
Okay.
And then you're also going to need that Wii controller on the bottom row in between the Xbox
Oh, yeah.
and the Switch.
Nunchucks. Wiimote.
Hated it. I'm so sorry.
my
I
heart.
could not figure it out. The aiming with the pointing
Uh-huh.
and then moving with the nunchuck was really difficult for me to do simultaneously. It's, like the patting your head and rubbing your stomach thing.
Skill issue.
Yeah, it was definitely a skill issue for me. I was not skilled enough to do that.
No, that's fair. Where would you personally put it?
It was almost unusable for me.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Okay.
that would probably be D tier.
Okay.
Also playing Smash with that when Super Smash Bros. Brawl came out.
It is bad for Smash.
It was
I
so
did not
bad.
like it for Smash. Yeah. I kind of liked it. I thought it was really innovative. I didn't have any issues with the controls. It made things really immersive. I really enjoyed Link's crossbow training.
I really liked
As much of a meme as that is, I really like that game.
I really liked the Wii Sports with just the remote.
Oh yeah, right.
Motion control games that were just built for just the remote
Right.
were perfectly fine. I loved them.
Yeah.
So maybe higher than D tier for me, but
You know, I'm currently playing through Twilight Princess now that I've finished Tears of the Kingdom and needed more of a Zelda fix.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm playing the Wii version. And well, my first memories of video games are GameCube era games. Like the first games that I remember myself playing like a lot of are Wii games. So I'm definitely nostalgia blind, and I totally recognize that. But I love the Wii mote and the nunchuck. So I think we have an interesting spread of someone who really struggled with it, someone who really loved it, and then someone who's like,
I
it
would
was
personally put it in. I think it's a solid A tier controller, in my opinion.
good. That's probably where I would put it. And so do we average out and put it in like B?
B.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we put it above the PlayStation ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay. Now
I never used that thing.
the Wii. Is this the Wii Pro controller? Is that what they called it?
I can't remember what it was called, but it was good.
It's essentially it's
It
a
was.
pro controller.
Mhm.
I never used it, so.
This basically solves a lot of the issues that you were talking about if you had this.
Do you still have the same issues with the joystick since they're in those same kind of places as on the
They don't
PlayStation
seem
ones?
as big though.
I don't remember struggling this much. I think they were further apart
Yeah, they look a
than the
little further
PlayStation
apart.
ones. So
Okay.
Yeah, I have personally actually never really used them.
I've used it like once, and I thought it was comfortable.
Where would you put it, Jordan?
Probably A.
Okay.
There you go.
Above Dreamcast? Below?
Yeah, above Dreamcast.
We'll just put it there for now.
Sure.
360.
Okay, I have really strong opinions on this one.
Okay.
This is the perfect video game controller. I love the 360 controller so much. It's perfect. It's perfect. I love it. I would easily put it in S tier, but I open the floor to you two.
Honestly, I don't really disagree. So, like, I mean, I think the Xbox One controller just improved on the 360 controller, in my opinion. But the 360 controller already had it right. I would put this in S tier.
2 problems for me. And I
Okay.
loved the Xbox 360 era. That's where I played the most video games I've ever played in my life, and it was with an Xbox 360 controller. My biggest issues were the joysticks. When you used them too much,
They broke.
not that they broke, it was that the walls started to feel kind of grainy and not smooth anymore. And then the D-pad was still bad.
Okay.
So playing like
the
a
D-pad wasn't
Metroidvania,
great. That's true.
I remember trying to play Castlevania Symphony of the Night with the D-pad, and I couldn't do it.
I've seen a lot of 360 controllers with the thumbstick grip part like falling apart. That happens a lot with those controllers.
Super
Okay.
comfortable.
Yeah, now that you mention all that, actually, I would like to demote it to A tier. Maybe like top of A.
Yeah. Well,
Would you put it lower in
I'd
A?
put it middle of A,
Below GameCube?
below GameCube.
All right. Okay, PS3.
I can't talk about this one.
It would make my hands cramp a lot. Like, it's not the most comfortable. I got used to it because I owned a PS3 and I eventually just kind of figured it out. I love the face buttons. In fact, I love the face buttons, how they feel on like all the PlayStation controllers. And I didn't have much of an issue with the sticks, except that they would still slip sometimes. Yeah, it's I would put it in B tier. It's like mediocre.
Yeah. I still have the problems with my thumbs hitting each other, and I still didn't like the D-pad that much. It was still squishy.
It's like the same thing as the PS2 controller, except you got like upgraded triggers. That's really it.
Yeah.
Okay. Because of the upgraded triggers and stuff, I'm gonna put it above the others. Because I did like how those triggers feel. They're nice and squishy. Okay. Wii U,
PS4, and Xbox One.
PS4, Xbox One.
Grab the gamepad too.
Okay. Wii U Pro Controller. That was obviously heavily inspired by the 360 controller and is quite comfortable. Although the right thumbstick positioning is
I didn't
questionable.
like that.
It was a little weird. I think they just wanted it to be different than the Xbox One.
That's my biggest issue with it is, yeah, I
Right.
really don't like it. Like, it really detracts from the experience for me.
What are you guys thinking?
C.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just I'm so used to having the right thumbstick below the face buttons
Yeah.
that, like, Twitch actions, like switching from the thumbstick to the A button to jump,
Yeah.
and then back to the thumbstick. There was a further travel time. It felt like, and it was just harder to get used to.
Yeah, like, it functions and it works for a good amount of the games on it, but there are times where it's definitely in the way. That's a C tier controller.
I'd say it's better than N64 for sure.
Mm-hmm.
What about Genesis?
I'd say it's better than Genesis and NES, probably.
Okay, I'll just put it
Okay.
there.
Wii
Alex?
U gamepad. I'm a Wii U defender. I like the Wii U gamepad. I don't think it's an S tier. It's massive, and that is something. However, I think it works really well. Wind Waker HD, having your inventory, bam, right there, and then games that were specifically designed for the Wii U, like Nintendo Land, or on Mario Kart 8, you have your map of the course right there if you need to look down at it. I think that it's pretty gimmicky, but I think for what it is, it works well. And I think it's like a bottom A tier controller. I think it's better than the Dreamcast, but like around the same level as the SNES, personally. But I know that I'm probably a bit higher on it than most people.
No, I actually completely agree with you.
Yeah, I agree with you too.
Yeah.
Consensus.
I thought it was really good, and you mentioned in Nintendo Land.
Yeah.
That Luigi's Mansion game where one person played as the ghost on the gamepad and everyone else played the Luigi's. Oh, that's my favorite Wii U game. It's so fun.
I actually want to put this above the 360 controller. All right, right below. We'll put it below.
Okay.
I just want to mention one more game. Splinter Cell. I don't know if any of you guys know that game. You're basically like a stealth operative, and there was this one thing you could do where if you wanted to see if there were enemies on the other side of a door, you put a little camera underneath. And then when you do that, the guy like puts a camera underneath, and then to look, you look at the gamepad.
Ooh.
So it like feels like you're actually using that gadget. Anyway, a lot of really cool uses for that screen. I'm kind of sad it didn't stick around.
Right. PS4 is pretty much the same thing as the others. Just put it above the PS3.
I think it's better than the PS3. The thumbsticks are noticeably better. And it's way more comfortable. You know what? I think this is better than the
Wiimote?
Wiimote. I actually kind of like the PS4 controller.
I haven't used it very much, like very, very sparingly. So,
what do you think, Jordan?
I didn't own a PS4.
Okay.
But I did go to a friend's place to play some like multiplayer indie games with it, and I didn't mind the PS4 controller as much as the others.
Okay.
Maybe it's just because the games I was playing weren't like first-person shooters, so I didn't have the thumbstick, my thumbs hitting each other issue.
Yeah.
But I did get kind of used to the PlayStation 4 controller, and I didn't mind it that much. So above the Wii Nunchuck... Sounds about right.
There. Bam. Go.
Okay. Okay.
Xbox One?
Yeah.
Better than the Xbox 360. Didn't like the bumpers. They were a little too stiff for me.
They creak.
They do creak.
They creak. That's pretty much my only problem. The D-pad isn't my favorite, but it's not bad.
I actually stand by that. I think the 360 is a better controller. I think the Xbox One's a little too big, and I don't like the top. I don't know, something about the trigger and the shoulder buttons, just in the little bit of time that I've used it, didn't love it as much. I still think it's an A-tier controller, but...
Okay. I think this is better than the 360 controller. Jordan, what do you think?
I also thought it was better than the 360.
And just put it below the GameCube.
Okay.
All right, now we have the Switch.
Switch Pro?
Yeah. We got the Switch Pro controller and Joy-Cons.
Switch Pro I'd put in S tier.
Yes, I agree.
Easy. Done.
If this had a better D-pad, it would be better. That's my only problem with it.
That's also my only gripe.
But even then, everything else is so perfect.
Love it.
Joy-Cons, for what they are, I think they're fine.
I like them for motion-controlled games, but they don't. They're not
reliable.
Yeah, they're not reliable.
I'm thinking somewhere in C tier.
I'd be good with that. Alex?
Oh no!
I wouldn't put them that low.
Really?
Not at all. I mean,
Drift alone is a huge problem, man.
In both the Switches that I have played, have never had issues with drift. My Joy-Cons haven't drifted. So, while I get that is an issue for others, I think about... Here's my main thing, and I know I'm not going to say that this needs to put it above whatever we agree on.
All right.
But I think there are so many different ways to use it. I think games that control as well, like Mario Odyssey, are only possible through the Joy-Cons. The only issue that I really have with it is the buttons are really, really small. That's legitimately my only gripe at all. But I think they're great controllers. So
yeah,
you put it at the bottom of B tier.
I've had 2 of my Joy-Cons drift, and I have 4 2 sets of 2. My brother's has drifted for the 3rd time after getting it fixed twice. Jordan's, I fixed your drift like 2 times.
Yep, and I've had to send one of mine to Nintendo to get the drift fixed, and then it drifted like 48 hours later.
Again, right?
Yeah.
I cannot...
I could put him at bottom of B.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
I've
never used these.
Here you go.
Is this a Series S?
Let me see.
It's pretty much the same thing.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Is this just the Xbox One, though?
That's the Xbox One, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
The newer ones.
This is not the newest model, but it's basically the same thing.
That's like the Xbox One S and X generation.
I feel the same as I did about the Xbox.
They improved the bumpers. They're not creaky anymore. Those, yeah.
It's my favorite controller.
It's really good. I don't know. I think this belongs no lower than a...
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Above GameCube?
Sure. I mean, I like it just as much as the Nintendo Switch Pro controller, but you guys have less.
Yeah, I just...
I would be okay with this in S. I'd be okay either way. Yeah.
I'd like it in S. Yeah. Just because it's my favorite controller. I think it's improved upon the regular Xbox One controller a lot.
I agree.
It's way more comfortable. The buttons feel great. The D-pad feels great.
That D-pad is amazing.
It's amazing.
I love that D-pad. Yeah. Yeah, I wish the Switch controller had that D-pad, then it'd be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, PS5. I've never used the DualSense controllers. Ever.
I haven't either.
Don't
know. Sorry, people.
I'm sorry. But I hear that people love it. I'm sure it's great. So let us know in comments or emails, whatever social media. Is there anything you would change here real quick before we wrap up?
I'd put the Xbox One controller or One S controller above the Nintendo Switch Pro just because of the D-pad.
My only thing is I prefer mushy buttons.
Oh, okay.
And the Pro controller has really nice mushy buttons, and they're big.
Yeah, then I'm fine with keeping it how it is.
Alex?
Yeah, it's fine. I don't see anything jumping out at me at the top of my head.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen,
there you go.
Here you have it. We will post a screenshot of this on social media so you can see if you are a audio listener. Special thanks again to Joshua for being our down-to-earth cockatiel Patreon support as always. You can check that out in the description of the episode if you'd like. We have quite a number of Patreon episodes up now, so if you were to sign up, I can't remember how many we have off the top.
We're up to 6.
But 6. Mm-hmm. There you go. So thank you all for your support. Thank you for Jordan for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. We love you guys. See you next time.
Later.